Here we are in Tokyo then for race number 10 of season 9, and it's P. Sierra on pole from Marcus Nelson and Catfish. Then it's UK Ball, Yusuf, Revo, and El Carlos. Then it's the other Nissan of Milestone, then Mercanovic in third place in the championship, then Arnett Babnas, Daf Sanchez, and his teammate Batuco. Then it's Gallagher, Nawawi in 14th, then Aldridge and Medicis. Then it's the two cheaters of Not Lewis Hamilton and Debris. And then it's Alan Lee, Gamercat, Polarock, and Enoch Yui. Well, last time out, Marcus Nelson increased his championship lead to be the first driver in Season 9 to hit 100 points. As all 5 lights go on, we go green in Tokyo, and that's an amazing start from Marcus Nelson, getting a better getaway than PCR. He's already dropped off quite a bit. He's currently in second, according to the timing screens. Not Marcus Nelson in the lead, coming through turn 1 as we head through the S's. And after the first 2 turns here in Tokyo, that was an amazing start from Marcus Nelson to mount the fact that he is currently leading the championship. As UK Ball now coming up to the back of the man who's currently second in the championship. UK Ball dropping off there. Last time out, he had a puncture that probably curtailed his entire championship hopes, to be honest. El Carlos and Mechanovic behind Daf Sanchez, the fast starting Audi driver, who's ready to try and make a pounce on Arnett Babnas here. Here he comes. Very quick on the opening lap is the Audi driver, but throughout the rest of the race, he really doesn't have the stamina. But out in front, Marcus Nelson already 0.8 of a second ahead of P. Sierra. As we come through the Casio Triangle, on board with Arnett Babnas as the man in 8th place. Mechanovic getting past Batuco there. The other Audi keen to make some moves in the penultimate season of the Formula E Monopoly Championship. And if you're wondering what I just said, well, you'll find out about it after season 10. There will be a major announcement, and if you're on the Discord server, you will know what that announcement is. But anyway, on board with P. Sierra, the number 97 for Mercedes EQ, as Marcus Nelson sets the fastest first sector of anyone. On the back of that Mahindra is Sierra, doing his best to gain on him right now, the second Mercedes driver. You can tell by that fluorescent yellow stripe on his T pod cam. Coming into 130R then, 3/10 back, 2/10 back. He's definitely closing in under 2/10 of a second, losing out through the main curve, so through Casio. And he's lost out quite a bit. Catfish, however, sees an opportunity. They'll both have DRS, so it's going to be whoever can get a better exit out of that. Oh, someone will have a better chance. UK Ball with the fastest lap of the Prix, a 1:16.233. And Catfish still nowhere near him. He's not able to mount that much of an offensive. He's just still trying to pick his opportunity correctly. 0.2 of a second separating second and third. And as we come up to this rise, it's over hairpin before we head into Spoon Corner. Does Catfish actually have a chance of overtaking Sierra and hopefully mounting an offensive on his championship rival? This is Catfish's second major opportunity to win a driver's title. Sierra still, however, holding him up through 130R. Robust defense from the Spaniard. And Catfish getting an awful exit out of the Casio Triangle to the point where UK Ball's on the back of him. UK Ball always had an opportunity to get past and get onto the podium. Lost out because of a lack of DRS, which Catfish had. Yusuf currently looking on the back of that Nissan. And here's the race start. Back to the action then, and on board with Daf Sanchez, the number 72. Another Spanish driver, and he's holding up the Turkish Mechanovic in the number 31. He holds Esteban Ocon's race number, but honestly, he's got little to do with him apart from the fact that his debut season was genuinely incredible. Don't think we've seen a debut better. This is definitely a man with potential. Coming into 130R then. And Mechanovic on the back of the Audi. Not really close enough either to mount that much of a better challenge. As Nelson Catfish, they're all into the pits as someone's gone off at the Casio Triangle. It's probably one of the Aguris, I'd like to say. It was one of the Aguris. It was Medicis. He probably hit the wall. An unfortunate occurrence for him. And to hit his own teammate. But anyway, Sierra currently leading because of the Mahindra's pit stop. It does seem to be another two-stop race. Season 10 has been confirmed to have the exact same calendar as the first season of the championship to pay homage. But wow, the leaders on their soft tyres, absolutely shot. I'm shocked that they haven't actually been able to spin out on them at all. But this is the lap where you have to pit. The softs have absolutely no life in them, and Sierra's off. Sierra in the wall. Sierra out of the Prix. It's a virtual safety car, so the race leaders are going to have a perfect opportunity to come into the pits. But off at the Casio Triangle was your race leader. And the Catfish, well, I guess that's one way to get closer to your championship rival. But at the same time, Marcus Nelson is coming out of the Casio Triangle right now. Yusuf in the pits. He's going to be ahead of his teammate, isn't he? He is ahead of his teammate. Marcus Nelson comes out with everyone else out of the pit lane. Marcus Nelson, the man he started in second, is now in third with more worn tyres. But also at the same time, a better shot at getting past because they're more broken into. You've got the film removed on the top of them. However, that means that's a whole lap less to actually use them. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that the top 7 are all going to finish on soft shot tyres unless they get punctures. But we're at half race distance, and this is the time where I should probably say subscribe to the channel. Just do it. I see that the ranting videos that I made actually did pretty well, so I'm going to do the same thing for the Bahrain Grand Prix and the next Formula race, whenever that is. Because, yeah. Or maybe it's already happened. Maybe it has. I don't think it has. But anyway, that Casio Triangle corner, as we go into lap 7 of 13, that Casio Triangle turn is literally the tightest turn and could set up your entire lap. El Carlo setting the new fastest third sector. Milestone on the back of Marcus Nelson here. This is going to be a tight one, or at least it would have been if Stone wasn't really forced off the road. Debris into the pits. Oh my goodness, Gamercat pushed this off so far. Wonder how he was sent out of the Prix. Carlos with a new fastest first sector. This man is on a mission to close into UK Ball. The Catfish, if he's going to have any hope of winning this title, he's got to get past Marcus Nelson and finish ahead of him in every single race. And even then, that might not be enough. So staying on board with Stone, he's got DRS on the championship leader. He pulls out to the inside, and before we even reach the braking zone, Marcus Nelson has been cleared, and someone's gone off at 130R. That was Das Sanchez in the wall at the Casio Triangle. Forced off by his own teammate. I'm not going to be commentating for much more of this Prix. Or maybe I will, I don't know. On board with Debris. Currently in 19th place in the number 16 car. Oh, Carlos actually dropping off a little bit from UK Ball here. But now for Marcus Nelson, his main objective right now, I think he's actually going to come into the pits pretty soon. Because those mediums are beginning to go off that cliff in performance. So it'd be smarter to go into the pits, get some new rubber on, get some softs. But you're not going to be allowed to come into the pits after lap number 11. But into the pits comes Catfish. Okay, 57% tire away. He's going to come in, change onto some softs with 4 to go. This is going to be a big gamble because if there's a virtual safety car, then you're going to lose out quite a bit by putting earlier than your rivals. They're going to overcut you compared to your attempt at the undercut. Daf Sanchez, he's going to be ahead of him coming out of the pits there. Very close between him and Catfish. And we've just received news that a team could return for Season 10. Multiple teams, actually. Not actually too much action going on here in Tokyo. Like, the race really did kick off at the start, but now, as we're reaching the end, we expect a lot more chaos. There's not actually too much going on. Catfish is going past Daf Sanchez for what that's worth. As we go on to the 10th lap of the Prix. And UK Ball going somewhat slower than usual. Nelson and UK Ball coming into the pits. That explains why. They're both going to be on the soft tires. But who's going to emerge in front? This is going to be a battle between the faster pit stop. And the faster pit stop went to Nissan. So UK Ball possibly going to be making up time compared to Nelson. And Nelson's been passed by Catfish. Catfish makes the undercut work. And has come out ahead of Marcus Nelson with 3 to go, however. Those softs will only last 5 laps. And Catfish came in on the previous lap, so he's got another 3 to go on those tires. Nelson's going to be able to do 4 more laps, but the clouds are getting a bit overcast. There is a chance of rain, and that would be a real curveball. On board with Yusuf, once again going in pretty deep at the Casio Triangle. Let's see, does he come into the pits for new tyres? Yes, he does. New tyres will be going on. Rainbow's staying out, so it's not a weather thing. And there goes Nelson on the Canavik, slow-moving driver. Marcus Nelson originally got past Catfish there. Shocking, he's not gone into the wall. El Carlos in the pits as well. Aldridge coming into the Casio Triangle on his own. And someone's gone off in the second sector. That is not your race leader. We're looking at it. And I don't know who that is. Track's been cleared, they say. So we're going to see if we can actually catch someone with a low car percentage. Or maybe even a puncture. And I don't know who it is. But the top 2 are both going to have to come into the pits at the end of lap 11. Which is this lap. And I can't tell who went off. It was Debris. Debris went off. Must have pitched himself into a spin or something. So Ravo coming through 130 yards to start lap 12 of 13. The penultimate lap, just about keeping it clean. And the same could be said for the South African driver in Milestone, the only one of two African drivers on the grid today, as into the pits come the top two. They're both in. So that means Yusuf will inherit the lead of the Prix. As you can see, into the lead goes Yusuf, but where's Marcus Nelson going to be? The man who started second is back up into second. On the penultimate lap of this Prix, Mahindra currently leading home a 1-2 with Yusuf leading the two. The Canadian looks like he could get a race win today. UK Ball with the fastest lap of the Prix. More good news. And there's your first bit of laps, cars, and traffic. Nawawi also pretty far back. Did he come in? Because it's definitely not a puncture. No, Nawawi's just unbelievably slow. For the Aguri team, that's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Look at how much wear was on Debris' tyres. 30%. Really leaving it to the last moment. Ravo on the back of Catfish. Can he get past him? Coming into 130R as we come into the third and final sector. He's on the outside. That's not the advantageous line, but he takes the line anyway. Up into third place for Ravo. Coming through the Casio Triangle. That was a ballsy move and a half as we enter the final lap of the Prix. Out of the pits comes Gamer Cat. El Carlos getting past UK Ball there. And he's on the back of Milestone. It's all kicking off now. The top two, however, look set for Mahindra's. Is 1-2 today. Yusuf for the fastest first sector of anyone. But it looks like a little bit of argy-bargy going on with Mohamed Wawi as well. Gamer Cat came into the pits and he's come out in last. Sorry, it's so hard to speak when you've got a bit of a cough on you. And particles in the air and stuff like that. But coming through Spoon and Curve, Yusuf, with a strategic masterclass off of Sierra's exit from the Prix, he's just been leading night and day. Magnificent stuff from the Canadian driver who comes through the Casio Triangle now as Ravo sets the fastest second sector of anyone. Yusuf's going to win the Tokyo Prix. An amazing finish. And it's a fastest lap for him as well as the 1-2 for Mahindra. Ravo comes home in third with a new fastest lap, a 1:13.683. Catfish fourth, Stone fifth, El Carlos sixth, UK Ball seventh, Babinus eighth, Mechanovic ninth, and that's going to seal his championship fates. Mechanovic mathematically still has a chance of becoming champion, but it looks ever less likely. And Batuco comes home in 10th place with a final points finish. Then it's Aldridge, Sanchez, Gallagher, not Lewis Hamilton, Medicis and Alan Lee for the drivers who finished on the lead lap. And this is your podium then. Canada waves their flag high in the streets of Japan. Yusuf wins. Marcus Nelson second, and for at least the second time in his career, Ravo third in Tokyo. Remember the first time he actually drove for Mercedes in season 2, Ravo technically won the race, but he took out his teammate with a 5-second time penalty, meaning that he had to drop down to third. So Yusuf wins in Japan from Marcus Nelson, Ravo, and Catfish. Then it's Milestone, El Carlos, UK Ball, and Inet Babinus. Then it's Mechanovic, Bitsuko, Aldridge, Dow Sanchez, Gallagher, Nolas Hamilton, Medicis, Alan Lee, Debris, Inokui, Nawawi, Polarock, and Gamercat were your finishers, and your only non-finisher was P. Sierra. In the drivers' standings, Marcus Nelson leads on 121 points, 20 points up on his own teammate. Then it's Catfish, Ravo, Milestone, Mechanovic, Stone and Mechanovic tied on points on 80. Then it's El Carlos, Babness, and then UK Ball, Seattle, Batuco, Sanchez, Aldridge, Medicis, Gallagher, Debris, Yui, then Gamercat and Nawawi tied on 10 points. Notless Hamilton and Alan Lee tied on 8 points, and then it's Polarock in last on 7 points. In the constructors' standings, Mahindra lead the way on 222 points from Jaguar on 156. Then it's Envision Racing on 140 points, and then it's Nissan Racing on 138. Then it's Mercedes on 134, Audi on 83, Dragon on 44, Aguri on 33, DS Cheetah on 27, Renault Sport on 24, and the last place is Trolley Grand Prix on 17 points. We'll see you next time for race number 10 of Season 9.